Okay, I'd like to show you how to transition from your circular needle to double points on the top of a hat that you will be decreasing. So I've decreased on my circular needle a couple of times, but now it's getting to be too few stitches to go around on my circular needle. So we're coming up to the last stitch on the final round of the circulars. I'm going to work that stitch, remove the round stitch marker, and now I'm going to place a pin in the fabric where the beginning of the round is. So you'll use 4 double point needles in the same size as your working needle. On the first double point, I'm on my decrease round, and I want to end each double point needle with a decrease. This round is knit 3, knit 2 together, and it's not so important that you have an equal number of stitches on each double point needle, but it is important that you end a double point needle with a decrease. There's my decrease there. Now I'm going to pick up a second double point needle and continue the sequence onto the second double point needle. Knit 3, knit 2 together. Sometimes the decreases work out evenly, and sometimes you'll have more stitches on one double point needle than another, and that's perfectly fine. Decrease, okay. Pick up a third double point needle. I just let the double points hang out in the breeze. And we're coming up to our last transition. And now you've knit all of your stitches onto 3 double point needles. You can put your circular needle aside. And now you're going to pick up your 4th double point needle and work around on that. This is an even round, so I won't do any decreasing on this round. I'll just work all of the double point needles from this double point that has stitches onto the empty double point needle. Now I've got an empty double point needle here. I worked across. I don't put that down on the table because I might try to knit with only 3 needles. So I simply take that empty needle, put it in the palm of my right hand, and shift to the next double point needle. So I continue to do this all the way around, always working 3 needles on the hat and 1 empty needle in my hand. Since I have put a decrease at the end of each needle, transfer, shift, we won't have to move any stitches to rearrange them when we get down to fewer and fewer stitches for the decrease. So now I'm coming up to my pin, the beginning of the round, and now we're going to do the next decrease sequence all the way around, which is knit 2 together on each double point needle. Repeat the sequence, knit 2 together, knit 2, and 2 together. Shift to the next double point needle. Place the double point in the palm of your right hand, turn the work a little bit, and sequence again, knit 2 together, knit 2, knit 2 together, and we have 1 more needle on which to do that sequence. Shift the work. Now I like to give a little tug on the second stitch after I transition from a double point needle, not the first stitch. Okay, you can pull on the first stitch all day long and it won't stay snug. So go into the second stitch, give a little tug, wrap like you're knitting. Our sequence 2 together, 2 together. Now we're at the beginning of our round, and we're going to continue in the sequence of knit 1 whole round, decrease a round, and continue. And now I'm going to run it through each of these stitches purlwise, removing the stitches from each double point needle as I go. But at this point, I'm not going to pull the stitches tight because I want to run the stitches through with the working yarn one more time. Reach into the inside of the hat, find those same stitches. This fills in the stitches really nicely, so you don't have any stitches that look like they're rather open. And I'm just going to gently pull, tensioning the fabric a little bit, pull until we get that hat closed off really nicely, like that. Now I'm going to take the yarn to the inside of the hat. I'm not going to go through the center here. I'm just going to go through off to the side, and we can weave that end in. I just like to take the yarn, split the yarn with the needle a little bit, go at a diagonal to weave in this end at the top of the hat, pull it through a few stitches, tension it, come back right next to those stitches. I split the yarn, it holds it a little bit better. Just a few stitches. Now since it's the top of a hat where it gets a little strained, I'm going to go one more time next to those stitches, weaving and splitting that yarn. Then when I get all finished with that, tension it the same as the knitting. I can trim it to 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch. So there we are, finished off the top of the hat. In another video, I'm going to show you how to close the gap where we started our circular knitting. Okay, finishing off the top of a hat. Very simple, clean, nice and tidy. Try it. Fun.